Biker humiliates black waitress not knowing John Cena is watching him. The young waitress, no older than her early 20s, moved swiftly between tables, her worn-out sneakers barely making a sound against the tiled floor. She had been on her feet for hours, yet she pushed through with a forced smile, knowing she still had a few more tables to serve before her shift was over. Then, the atmosphere shifted. The front door banged open, sending a gust of cold air rushing in. The group of bikers stomped inside, their heavy boots thudding against the floor. At the center of them was one man, bigger, louder, and meaner than the rest. His eyes locked onto the waitress, and just like that, her night was about to take a dark turn. The waitress took a deep breath, steadying herself as she approached the table where the loudest biker sat. His leather jacket was covered in patches, his beard scruffy, and his eyes glinted with something that made her stomach twist. Trouble. "Evening, sir. What can I get you?" she asked, keeping her voice polite. The biker smirked, glancing at his friends before leaning back in his chair. "Oh, I don't know, sweetheart," he drawled, dragging out the words. "Maybe someone who knows how to do their job without looking so damn miserable." His friends chuckled, their laughter a low rumble in the booth. The waitress's cheeks burned, but she refused to react. She just nodded and pulled out her notepad. "I'll take your order when you're ready," she said, turning away. But the biker wasn't finished. He reached for the salt shaker, tossing it across the table, sending grains spilling everywhere. "Oops," he sneered. "Think you can handle cleaning that up, sweetheart? Or is that too complicated for you?" The diner grew silent. Other customers shifted uncomfortably in their seats, watching the scene unfold. The waitress swallowed hard, forcing back tears, but she wasn't the only one watching. From a quiet corner of the diner, a man in a hoodie stirred. He had been enjoying his meal in silence, unnoticed by the crowd. But now his fork rested on his plate, untouched, as his sharp blue eyes locked onto the scene unfolding before him. John Cena had seen enough. He watched as the young waitress clenched her jaw, trying to keep her composure. She bent down to pick up the salt shaker, her hands shaking ever so slightly. The biker and his friends laughed, completely unaware that they had just made the biggest mistake of their night. Cena leaned back, his expression darkening. He had been in countless battles, both in and out of the ring, but nothing angered him more than bullies, especially those who preyed on people just trying to do their jobs. He exhaled slowly, then pushed his chair back, rising to his full height. It was time to intervene. The sound of a chair scraping against the floor cut through the tense silence. The biker, still smirking, barely spared a glance, until a towering figure stepped into view. John Cena stood there, his broad shoulders squared, his presence alone commanding attention. The waitress's breath hitched. The other customers exchanged glances. The biker, however, didn't seem fazed. "And who the hell are you?" the biker scoffed, eyeing Cena up and down. He chuckled, nudging one of his friends. "You here to serve me too, big guy?" Cena didn't flinch. He simply folded his arms, his expression calm but unyielding. "No," he said evenly. "I'm here to ask why a grown man thinks humiliating a waitress makes him tough." The biker's smirk faltered for just a second, but he quickly covered it up with a sneer. "Mind your own business," he muttered. Cena took a step closer. "This is my business," he said, "because real toughness isn't about tearing people down. It's about standing up for what's right." The biker swallowed. For the first time that night, he realized something chilling. He wasn't the one in control anymore, and the entire diner knew it. The biker shifted uncomfortably in his seat, his bravado beginning to crack under the weight of Cena's unwavering stare. His friends, who had been laughing just moments ago, suddenly fell silent, exchanging uneasy glances. The energy in the diner had completely shifted. Cena didn't need to raise his voice. He didn't need to throw a punch. His presence alone was enough to make the biker realize he had messed with the wrong person. The waitress stood frozen, watching as the biker exhaled sharply, his fingers drumming against the table. Finally, he muttered, "All right, man." "Chill. I was just messing around." His voice lacked its earlier confidence. He turned to the waitress, avoiding eye contact. "Sorry," he grumbled. Cena didn't move. "Louder," he demanded. The biker swallowed hard, then forced out, "I'm sorry." The tension broke. A few customers nodded in approval. The waitress exhaled, relief washing over her face. The waitress blinked, as if trying to process what had just happened. She'd endured insults before, but never had someone stood up for her like this. She turned to Cena, her voice soft. "Thank you," she whispered. Cena gave her a small nod. "You deserve respect. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise." The biker and his friends, now humiliated, quickly grabbed their things and left, the sound of the diner door swinging shut, marking the end of their reign over the room. A slow clap started from a booth in the back, then another. Soon the whole diner erupted in quiet applause. Cena simply gave a nod, tossing a generous tip onto the waitress's tray before heading toward the exit. As he walked out, he glanced back once and said, "Respect costs nothing, but it means everything." The screen fades to black. What would you do in this situation?